to get you out of the vehicle. You said, nope, not getting out of my vehicle. And then he ends up having to break your window. So I don't understand what you... All right, who's here on Mia Ray Herrera? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what you're about to witness isn't just a traffic stop gone wrong. It's a life spiraling out of control in front of a judge who has absolutely no patience for excuses. On one side, we have the state, determined to prove this was no innocent mistake. On the other, a young woman, desperate to paint herself as a victim of fear and misunderstanding. But fear only explains so much. What happens when that fear collides with hard evidence, broken windows, and a courtroom full of people who've heard every excuse in the book? This is the kind of case where reputations crumble and futures vanish in an instant. And by the end, you'll have to ask yourself, did she get justice or just mercy she didn't deserve?
Your attorney, did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do so waive it.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrera, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're
Now,
charged with
here's the first shocker. The defendant waives her right to a jury trial. Think about that. 12 everyday citizens could have heard her story, felt her fear, maybe even given her the benefit of the doubt. Instead, she places her entire future in the hands of one judge. One single decision-maker whose patience for half-truths and contradictions could wear thin in seconds. Was this confidence? Was it strategy? Or was it the gamble of someone who knew her story wouldn't stand up to the scrutiny of a jury of her peers? It's a bold move, but bold doesn't always mean smart. If you were in her shoes, would you roll the dice on just one person holding the key to your freedom?
Has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be a TAP evaluation, follow whatever recommendations. MRT and defensive driving. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There has not, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community service be for your community supervision be for a term of 2 years, and there be 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments at this time, Your Honor.
No objection, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Welcome. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
At this time, no, Your Honor.
All right, so why didn't you pull over?
And here's the moment where everything starts to crack. The judge, looking directly at her, asks the question we've all been waiting for. Why didn't you stop? Simple, straightforward, but devastating. And her answer? She claims she was afraid. But fear is a tricky shield. The officers on the scene reported something very different. Locked doors, rolled up windows, and a refusal to step out of the car until the glass was shattered. That's not the picture of someone frozen by fear. That's resistance. That's defiance. And here's where the tension skyrockets. Is she lying to protect herself, or did fear truly override reason? This is the kind of contradiction that can destroy a defense in seconds.
He's driving. He approached your vehicle and gave you the reason for why he was stopping you, asked for your information. You gave him your phone, and I copied down our information. I then asked her for insurance. While your window was rolled down, he says there was a very strong odor of marijuana. I told AP I had to return to my vehicle and that I would be back. He contacted his supervisor, and then he gave you more instructions. You refused to follow his instructions. You rolled up your window. He said, hey, I'm going to add more charges. You need to exit the vehicle. You refused, and you drove away. I immediately contacted dispatch and informed them of the situation. I returned to my vehicle and started following AP with my emergency red and blue overhead lights and siren on. You continue to travel, and he actually puts in here every street that you passed. And then you finally pull over, and he asked you to step out. You didn't. And then he had to draw his weapon. You still wouldn't step out of the vehicle. And he told you, I'm going to have to break this window to get you out of the vehicle. You said, nope, not getting out of my vehicle. And then he ends up having to break your window. So I don't understand what you mean you were not evading.
Picture this moment. Flashing lights, sirens in the night, commands echoing through the air. Yet she doesn't stop. The pursuit only ends when officers are forced to smash her window, weapons drawn, ready for the worst. Think about that. It takes broken glass and the threat of violence just to bring this to an end. And now, in court, she tries to flip the script, painting herself as the victim. But here's the cliffhanger. If this was truly about fear, why keep going until everything literally shatters around you? That's the question hanging in the air, and one the judge isn't likely to forget.
My way was not the best decision. It wasn't the correct decision. And I understand if there's ever a point that I don't feel safe around an officer, that's not the approach to take. I truly just did not feel safe with that officer.
All right, and if you're drug tested.
And then it happens. The crack in her story becomes a gaping hole. After denying, dodging, and dancing around the truth, she finally admits it. Marijuana will show up in her system. Just like that, her credibility collapses. In a courtroom, credibility isn't just important, it's everything. And when you lose it, you've lost your defense. The officer's suspicions, once just accusations, suddenly gain weight. Her fear narrative begins to unravel, replaced by the cold reality of choices she made long before this trial. One slip of honesty, and the rest of her story falls apart. The question is, was this her final undoing, or will the judge see past
know that
it?
they need to test for levels. After today, there's to be no driving until you present a valid driver's license and insurance to probation. There's going to be field visits one time per month for 3 months. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
And then, out of nowhere, the judge throws a curveball. tying her sentence not just to punishment, but to her future dreams. If she becomes a flight attendant, her community service hours vanish. Redemption, dangled in front of her like a golden ticket. But don't be fooled. This isn't a free pass. It's a trap wrapped in hope. Because one misstep, one failed test, one stumble, and that dream disappears along with her freedom. The courtroom turns from battlefield to bargaining table, and the judge makes it clear the future is hers to lose. But can she hold it together long enough to earn it?
Like after the deferred probation happens.
Well, what I can tell you is this is on your record. You need to discuss with your attorney, perhaps about non-disclosures or whether or not it can be removed from your record, expungements, okay?
Okay.
Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
And just so I understand, the 100 hours, if I become a flight attendant, I don't do them, or I
Yes.
still have to do them?
No. If you complete that, you're off to the friendly skies. So otherwise, you can do the 100 hours. They usually will put you in the sun picking up paper.
Is the 100-hour, or do I have like the 2 years to figure out to become a flight attendant? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else?
Just one last thing, Your Honor. In discussions with the state is not going to, I just want to place it on the record, the state is not going to oppose an early termination application if we should so apply.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. If there is some issues you have or you're confused about anything, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court.
Okay. Am I able to give them the car insurance and the ID today?
You'll speak to probation and they will let you know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. I appreciate you.
All right.
So let's break this down. A case that began with flashing lights and broken glass ends with a second chance, but one hanging by the thinnest of threads. This defendant escaped prison today, but she didn't escape judgment. Every choice she makes from here on out will be weighed against this case, this courtroom, and this chance she was given. Was it justice? Was it mercy? Or was it a gamble by a judge who believes in redemption more than punishment? That's for you to decide. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping court